What's up guys, this is Brent with Western Equipment, and in this video we're going to be doing a couple of different field tests to help you decide whether you need two-wheel steer or four-wheel steer on your lawn tractor. Now, to set the scene here for this first test is going to be a test for an uncut circle diameter. Now, what this is going to be referencing to is to show you how tight the turn radius is on a two-wheel steer versus a four-wheel steer. And this is going to help you gauge whether maybe a four-wheel steer is going to help you knock down time if you're in a area like what we have here with a lot of trees that you're having to mow around. Maybe you've got a lot of tight curves and things like that that you aren't wanting to have to pull up and back up. You'll be able to see from this test what type of uncut circle we're going to have. So what I have here is the two-wheel steer old trusty X320, and then over there on the other side we've got the brand new John Deere X394. So we have two-wheel steer and four-wheel steer. So what I'm going to do is start these up. I've got each mower positioned right here at the midpoint of the deck next to a T-post. We're going to start these up. I'm going to cut it as hard as I can to the left, and then once I finish my circle, we'll go ahead and measure that distance on each one. So we'll start here with the X320. All right, so for these, I'm going to set the deck down here to 2.5. That way we get a good reading here of where we can really see that grass being cut. Then I'll go ahead and engage our PTO. And then now I'm going to go ahead and cut that wheel all the way to the left. And we'll start our circle. All right, so now that we get a good picture of what we're looking at here, I'm standing with 1 foot inside the circle here. Right there is where I ended up. So I'm gonna measure from that furthest point back there by the tire, as that is still uncut. So if we measure from there all the way to our grass out here that is uncut, we're measuring right at 56 inches. So how this plays into things is if we're looking at mowing around a tree, wanting to make a perfect circle around that tree without having to back up, go around, cut corners, things like that. We have to remember that where we're going to be starting, where we're going to finish up at, is going to have 56 inches in between here that is not cut with those wheels turned all the way to the side. So now let's go ahead and move over to the X394, check out what we can do there. All right, so now we'll do the same thing here with the 394. All right, here we go. All right, a little bit harder to see here, but definitely a big difference. So we were looking at 56 inches over on the two-wheel steer, and here on the four-wheel steer at our furthest point here, we are looking at 26 inches. So guys, by adding that four-wheel steer, by adding that rear axle that does turn along with the front axle, you have reduced that uncut circle from 56 inches down to 26 inches. You just saw it here, raw, live. This is exactly what you're going to get. So now what that means is, if you don't have a tree that is 56 inches in diameter that you're cutting around, you are going to have to back up, go back around, and maybe double cut around that tree. Whereas here, if you have a tree that is 26 inches in diameter, you can cut all the way around that thing without having to stop, back up, and recut. So you have a 30-inch tighter turning radius with a four-wheel steer than you do with the two-wheel steer. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next test, which is going to be making passes up and down and seeing just how much loop around or how much extra you have to drive out and around to be able to get back on that straight line. Now, keep in mind here that both of these mowers are 48-inch deck. They are both X300 series mowers, and so they are very comparable on what you would see either with an X350 versus an X354 or an X390 versus an X394, so on and so forth. Now, the next test that we're going to do is probably the most applicable and the one that is going to make the most sense when we're talking about time of mowing, which is going to be the straight shot down and how much time it takes to loop around and get back online. So how we're going to do that is we're going to take both of these mowers, make a straight pass down, and then cut that wheel as hard as we can to the right. See just how long it takes to get back straight on line with our previous line that we mowed. And then what we'll do is we'll go around and measure that distance to see just how much difference in time there is there and difference in distance there is to make that loop back around. So we'll start over here to the left with the X394, and then we'll jump on the X320 and measure those two distances. All right, so I'm gonna start here at the back of the circle. I've got my gauge down here and I'm just gonna go around the outside cutting edge all the way until we get back here to where I can tell that we are back straight on line. So right there, we are at 27 feet, 10 inches. Now we'll move over here to the X320. Go ahead and reset our gauge here. So we were at 2710. And on the two-wheel steer, we are at 33.2. So to cap everything off, the big thing here is comparison. Time versus money. This is a comparison that we fight no matter what we're doing, whether it be mowing, working, time with whatever those things are that we're doing. Time versus money, what is worth more to us? So with the two-wheel steer versus four-wheel steer, you saw the uncut circle difference. So the difference in whenever we're having to mow around that tree or whatever that obstacle is, significant difference there from 56 inches on the two-wheel steer to 26 inches on the four-wheel steer. And then there on the turnaround time, which is huge for most people when we're talking about mowing yards, we're going to be making those rows. So we're going to have those turnarounds. We're looking for that straighter cut, that less time of having to drive around, get back online. You saw there that there's about a 5-foot difference from the two-wheel steer to the four-wheel steer. So you're getting, like I said, a lot tighter turn here. And whenever you're talking about making a bunch of passes there, I mean, guys, that could save you anywhere from 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on how you drive your mower, just in saving that 5 feet at every turnaround. So I'm just guessing there, but guys, I'm telling you from experience of mowing with these two, there is a big difference in time whenever we're mowing with the four-wheel steer versus the two-wheel steer. So the other thing we talk about here is money. What is the cost difference? So generally what you're looking at between a two-wheel steer and a four-wheel steer, let's say if we had an X350 and an X354, you're looking about $800 to $900 difference there. And sometimes you can go on up into that $1,100 to $1,200 difference when we're talking about into the X394 series. So the thing that we have to think about is that extra money worth the extra time that I'm going to save by being able to go around those obstacles quicker? And if I have a lot of sharp turns, maybe right there like we showed on that turn test, maybe I have those sharper turns where I'm having to go around fences or curbs or different objects, how much time can I shave off with that four-wheel steer, and how much does that mean to me cost-wise when I'm looking at buying a mower? So guys, I hope this video helped clear up any of those questions. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, we just ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also guys, if you need any parts for your John Deere equipment, whether it be mowers, gators, tractors, compact construction equipment, any of those things, make sure to go check us out at 247parts.com. And as always guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to check out this cool video and this one. Buy your parts right up here and subscribe right here.